It's good to have you once more on African Free Press Television for the news at dusk. My name is Leo Oketa, and these are the stories we're tracking for you at this moment. The Council of State has approved the appointment of Professor Mahmoud Yakubu as the substantive chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. The Council also approved the appointment of 5 new national commissioners for the Commission. The national commissioners are Mrs. Amina Zakari from Northwest, Dr. Antonia Okosi Simbine from North Central, Alhaji Baba Shetima Afu from Northeast, Dr. Mohammed Mustafa Leki from South, and Mr. Soyebi Adedechi Solomon from Southwest. The appointment, which is to be ratified by the Senate, was made on Wednesday by the President at the Council of State's meeting in Abuja. Mr. Yakubu, who is a former Executive Secretary of the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, is to take over from the acting chairman of the Commission, Amina Zakari. The Southeast is said to still have a certain national commissioner in the person of Ambassador Lawrence Nwuruku. Meanwhile, the alleged removal of the head of civil service of the Federation, Mr. Danladi Kifase, by President Muhammad Buhari has been trailed with uncertainty to the claims that the action is being taken on the principle of entrenching the federal character which is enshrined in the Nigeria's constitution. Unconfirmed sources said the letter authorizing Kifase's removal emanated from the office of the Secretary to the government of the Federation, Mr. Babachir David Lawal. He was reportedly asked to proceed on his terminal leave with immediate effect. Kifase, who hails from Taraba, is from the same northeast zone as the SGF, who hails from Adamawa State. He was appointed by the former President, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, and was said to have prepared for smooth handover in an event of announcement of the new head of service, which may likely be from the southern part of the country. He had served as permanent secretary in several ministries, including Federal Ministry of Finance and Petroleum. The plots by suspected terrorists to plant improvised explosive device IED at the popular Wuse Market in Abuja has been thwarted by a special intelligence response team set up by Inspector General of Police Solomon Araze. The allied team, made up of highly trained intelligence and operations officers, has so far arrested a total of 5 suspected terrorists who will be paraded before the media any moment from now and thereafter charged to court soonest. The terrorists, who were planning to carry out their attacks in various parts of the Federal Capital Territory, were picked up from their hideouts at Karamajiji village behind the National Military Cemetery along Abuja Airport Road and Ido village located directly behind the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. 2 others were picked up from a hideout at Dan Asato village in Suleja, while another was picked up at Gauraka village, also in Suleja, a satellite town in Niger State near Abuja. Items recovered from the terrorists, according to a top security officer, include various kinds of chemical used for making IEDs, numbering over 30, plastic containers, a registered motor vehicle license, and 15 bombs, which the suspects said were to be planted at strategic locations in the nation's capital. Similarly, over 20 detonators, 1 laptop, 2 books on bomb making, and various kinds of weapons were recovered from the terrorists, who are now said to be relocating to Abuja. The chairman of the Code of Conduct Tribunal, Justice Danladi Umar, has adjourned the trial of Senator Bukara Saraki till 5th and 6th of November 2015. The adjournment will enable the tribunal await the judgment of the appeal court, where Senator Saraki had challenged the jurisdiction of the tribunal to try him for a late false declaration. Senator Saraki, who arrived at the Code of Conduct Tribunal in the company of 81 senators, including the Deputy Senate President Ike Kremadu, challenged the composition of the Code of Conduct Tribunal, which has only 2 members instead of 3, adding that since the tribunal did not sit in compliance with the constitutional provision of 3 members, his arraignment should be declared invalid. Moreover, Senator Bukola Saraki has failed to persuade the Code of Conduct Tribunal sitting in Abuja to grant an indefinite adjournment on the 13-count criminal charge that is pending against him. And now to the foreign scene. Pope Francis will be making a historical first visit to Africa in November amid security concerns. The Vatican announced that the Pope will meet slum dwellers and refugees and call for dialogue between Christians and Muslims when he visits Kenya, Uganda and Central African Republic next month. The Pope will visit only the capitals and spend about 2 days in each country. Thousands of protesting students from the University of Cape Town and the Cape Peninsula University of Technology have descended on Parliament in Cape Town on Wednesday afternoon ahead of the medium-term budget policy statement by Finance Minister Nklan Nene. Stone grenades were fired as students forced their way through the gates of the Parliament's premises. In the same vein, 4 people demonstrating against plans to lift presidential term limits in Congo Republic have been killed as police opened fire when the crowd refused to disperse. Thousands of opposition supporters took to the streets against Sunday's planned referendum on removing constitutional term limits for President Denis Sassou Nguesso, who has ruled since 1979. Meanwhile, a United States Marine pilot was killed when a Marine Corps fighter jet crashed after taking off from a U.S. military base in England. A witness to the crash, Karen Miles Holdaway, said the pilots did very well to avoid any houses. According to U.S. Marine officials, the pilot, who is yet to be identified, died after ejecting and landing a mile from the jet. The cause of the crash is yet unknown, but reports claim the jet was returning to U.S. after bombing ISIS in Syria. Iran's most powerful man and supreme leader, Ayatollah Khomeini, has accused President Barack Obama of threatening his country. Khomeini has thrown his weight behind the nuclear deal Iran signed with the U.S. and other world powers. He ordered the July 14th deal to be implemented, which is subject to certain conditions, although Iran must further restrict its nuclear program for economic sanctions to be dropped. And in sports, Cristiano Ronaldo is reportedly being paid a whopping $22 million to refrain from appearing in Martin Scorsese's new movie about Italian real estate agents, Alejandro Proto, after Ronaldo's new apartment in Trump Tower was selected for a scene location. Proto objected to Ronaldo being in the film. Ronaldo, who is no longer a part of the project, was supposed to be paid over $11 million for being cut from the film, but his lawyer negotiated for double pay. And that's the news for you on African Free Press Television this evening. For more stories, please do visit our website at www.africanfreepress.com. Follow us on Twitter at African Free Press and like our Facebook page at africanfreepress.com. From me, Leo Oketa, and the whole team in the studio this evening, it's a very good evening to you. Do enjoy the rest of your night.